Hello peeps, today I'm doing a review of the Warthog. Now this isn't anything new on the battlefield. The Warthog's been around for a while and people run this a couple different ways. They run it with either the AP Gauss only, or they run it with machine guns, or they put ER large lasers on it, or a plethora of different other things. This is a build I've been running for a while, and when they do the 1v1 matches and 2v2 matches, this is the way I run it. I change the paint scheme here and there, but ultimately this is basically how I run this guy. And for the most part, it doesn't really change. Sometimes it goes to black with orange spots, and then other times it's all orange, and then it gets black spots. But either way, it pretty much ends up looking a lot like this. And let me show you the build that it really explains how this thing really works. So when we come to the Mech Lab, first thing you're going to see is in the left and right torso, we have 2 AP Gauss on each torso. We also have 2 heavy machine guns in each torso. So we've got 4 AP Gauss so far and 4 heavy machine guns. Out on the arms, we have an additional 3 heavy machine guns on each one of the arms. So that's 10 heavy machine guns and 4 AP Gauss. Now as far as ammo goes, we have 2 tons of AP Gauss here. And then on the arms, we also have an additional 2 tons, 1 ton on each one of the arms. And then for the machine guns, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. So we have 5 tons of heavy machine guns here. Now, as far as the armor goes, I stripped it down a little bit in some places so I could make this work. And so we got 1, and then 2. And if you think you're going to come in behind me, think again. The flamer is the weapon I chose for the energy point in the center torso. I shut people down, and in the meantime, I go after their legs, and I take their legs out. And that seems to be working rather well. Once you take somebody's leg off, it's easy to get in behind them because they can't turn around as well. And that's one of the things you want to consider when doing this kind of a build. Let's speak about getting some damage on the battlefield. I also run a cool shot because that does heat up after a while. The AP Gauss and the flamer together will heat up after time, and it's a good idea to have a cool shot on there to cool down so you can go on to your next victim. I also have 2 artillery strikes on board. When we come down here to the meat and potatoes, heat management is 2 of 2, but it will heat up over time. Firepower is given as 78.5, not bad for a 35-ton mech when you really think about it. Speed is 97, not incredible, but still has some decent damage output. When we come and look at the skills with the quirks, we have an AP XP bonus of 2.5, yay. We have a cooldown on the firepower of 9.6, so that means I can fire these AP Gausses a little bit quicker than normal. That's all that the cooldown is on there for. Spread, we have 25% reduction. Clan machine gun range plus 25%. Heat minus 13.5 or 8, I can't tell. And then we have a flamer beam ramp down saturation of 15%. We also are getting some additional ammo features out of the deal. We're getting some survival in the form of armor bonuses, and center torso we're getting like 15%, and then we're getting a bunch across the structure and everything. And then we're also getting max heat, we're getting heat dissipation, we're getting overheat damage protection, because this does get hot. Sensors, we're getting some target information there, seismic sensor, and I'll show you more of this as we go. Let's go to the skills tree. So this is the skills tree. Now in order to get that 9.6 cooldown, because the mech doesn't really come with anything in that regards, I had to max out my cooldown. I have used range for this and trying the AP Gauss and seeing if that works as doing an AP Gauss build, but this seems to work the best. I went with maximum heat, I went with additional ballistic ammo. I'm not going to benefit from anything else here. I did go with thermal cycling as mentioned earlier. I went all out on survival. Skeletal density, armor hardening, reinforced casing, and full overheat damage protection. This will get hot. It says 2 of 2, but don't let it fool you. It's going to get hot. Cool run and heat containment, because I'm always in override. maxed out on seismic sensor. If there was a way to get an additional seismic sensor, I'd go for it too, probably. I'm just really crazy like that. And then as far as consumables went, as you saw, I went with a cool shot. This is going to give me a little bit better cooldown duration. And then, of course, I went with my artillery strikes, and I wanted to max out the damage that they could do, because I want to reach out and touch people on the battlefield. So this is basically the nuts and potato of this thing. The way I fire this weapon system is like this. So I have button 2 set with all the machine guns. And then I have the AP Gauss on button 1. So that way I can just fire these and do damage, maximum damage, which they're going to do is 8 damage across the 4 of them. And then the machine guns are on their own separate thing. So I can fire these regardless of these. And I've tested this thing on the battlefield, and I haven't managed to run out of ammo yet. And then I also ran the flamer. Now when you look at this thing, it doesn't seem all that impressive, but let me take you to the battlefield and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Heat level critical.